Hello and welcome back to the channel. And yes, I am at Woodhead again, Woodhead Pass, Woodhead Tunnels, whatever you want to call it. I have moved, in fact, from last week. I was here last week, as you know. It would be a nice place to camp, to be honest, although it is absolutely bitterly cold. It's about 7:45 on Friday morning. I got back from Belgium at midnight last night, so I am a bit tired. And as you all know, my words can't come out very well first thing on the morning. Plus, my lips are absolutely freezing. It's raining, it's been snowing, but it's typical Woodhead, of course. Anyway, why am I here? Well, I wanted to frame this video again because there's going to be two videos this weekend. One today, which is going out tonight, about building rock faces, just like the one you see behind you, and another one on Sunday about building a quarry. Both of which you could include on your layout, because honestly, especially the quarry, you could have a lovely little quarry in any gauge you're modelling, N gauge, double O gauge, HO gauge, and it just gives you the justification to have a little industrial line, etc, etc. Anyway, let me just elaborate why I'm here again. So most of you will know with Heaton Lodge Phase 1, which is 55 metres long, 200 feet, a lot of that ground area is taken up with the static grass. And I spent, going back 10 years ago, so many evenings, weekends, over months, a couple of hours a night sometimes, experimenting on getting that static grass absolutely bang on by experimenting with colours and shades and everything else. And I nailed it, hopefully you'll agree, in the end. Now, this time, because I'm up against deadlines with Heaton Lodge Phase 2, I wanted to get the rock face absolutely spot on from day one. And I haven't got the time anymore because, you know, I need to get this layout out. Apart from anything else, I want you guys to see it. I want to have a good play with it over many, many years. And I need to get it finished. So what I did, instead of experimenting, I searched out a guy. It's really raining now. I searched out a guy, Evan Daes in Flemish, or Daes in English, who is one of Europe's top modelers. I can't tell you what a talented guy this man is. He's well known throughout Europe for contributing to some of the best and the biggest layouts, well, worldwide, to be honest. And a lot of these layouts never see the light of day. And a lot of modelers, especially from that level, really don't like sharing their techniques either, which, you know, you could possibly understand. I was a bit like that actually back in the early days, and I hope I've rectified it to some degree with these videos. But anyway, I searched out Evan. He agreed, because he'd watched this channel a couple of times, which is very flattering, to give me 2 days of his time to teach me how to build the most spectacular rock face, and secondly, the most spectacular quarry. And he's even agreed, and this is such a result, to let me film it, so he would do the actual working on the rock faces, so I could share all this through this channel with you guys, which really is a result. So thanks to Evan, it's really, really appreciated. So I've been over to Belgium for 2 days. These two videos this weekend are all about that trip. And the first video, which you're about to see, is all about constructing a rock face, just like the one behind me, the result of which you can see popping up on your screen now, which you must admit is absolutely stunning. The second part that goes out on Sunday is all about the quarry. And just imagine, as I said earlier, having a little quarry, an industrial line, a quarry, doesn't matter what gauge you're modelling, double O gauge, N gauge, TT gauge, doesn't matter, but it will really kind of give you an excuse for building a small industrial layout. So that is why it's so important that we get this industrial quarry and this rock face absolutely spot on to start with, and that's why I went over to Belgium. So anyway, I'm waffling now. It's so cold, it's raining, so I'm going to wind this up and we're going to go over to Belgium together, meet Evan, and we're going to have a great time learning how, in this video, to build the most spectacular rock face. Oh, and also, this is a picture of Evan's two beautiful ragdoll cats. Now, I've got to give them a plug because they're absolutely stunning. They took absolutely no part in the modelling whatsoever, completely irrelevant, but I just thought I'd show you anyway. So there we go. Let's go over to Belgium. So we're in Belgium, of course, and we are here at Minima Forma, and I'm with Evan Daes. It is Daes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's
Sorry,
in English. It's Daes, but we say Das.
Das, right? Evan Daes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So this is the layout I've been talking about. I say it's a layout; it's more a diorama because this, Evan, took you, what was it, about a month to build?
Well, it's just my own little project. So every time when I finished my day of work, I would stay in the workshop and I spend a few hours.
Yeah.
So, but let's say in 10 days of work, we made these 2 dioramas or this module, but it's going to be part of much more.
Yeah, it's just amazing. What gets me is, look at that. It's just so firm, isn't it? So you can tell it's not actually polystyrene, is it? Which is what traditionally a lot of people use for rocks. It's kind of your product.
Yes, it's you know, the base is like XPS board or styrofoam board.
Yeah.
And just we cut the basic shapes and we sanded that you have the basic contours and shapes, but then we put a plaster bandage on top of it.
Yeah.
And then we have a really nice canvas to work on.
Yeah.
And then with the product, the compound MIFO shape,
yeah,
then you just start sculpting.
And this is what we're going to learn today about how to make something which is comparable to this in terms of quality. Because remember when I was at Woodhead Tunnel a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, I was showing you about the backdrop of those tunnels and that massive cliff face. Well, this is completely different because it's based on Canadian, but still it's rocky and it's all the same product, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to use Evan's product to make something similar to the Woodhead Tunnel faces. But this, I'm sure you'll agree, just checking it out is absolutely stunning. So, Evan, we're at the workshop table and we're just going to start assembling. What we're actually making, we're making a vertical cliff face here,
yes,
aren't we? So what we've got, just ingredients-wise, is we've got some 40mm XPS foam. I don't know what's marketed. I'm pretty sure, actually, for people watching, this is the same stuff that I use to do the concrete hard standing. We've also got some of this, which again, I've not back in the UK yet, but I'm pretty sure this will be available in the UK.
Yeah, definitely. Every contractor uses it. So.
Okay, cool. So we need this stuff. This is something I have learned straight away because all I've ever used to make landscape is just basic no more nails type glue. But this stuff, when you watch Evan building this rock face in a minute, it's expanding glue, isn't it? So
it's polyurethane glue, but
yeah,
it expands a bit, but not that much.
Okay, cool. Okay. And we've got this, which I've never even seen before, a Stanley Fatmax knife. So
it's 32 mils of whiteness,
yeah,
but it's definitely really solid. So it doesn't break when you're fiddling around in your foam.
Got you.
But don't forget, Simon, cut away from your hands.
Cut away from your hands. You don't want to slice your fingers off. Right, so making the rock face, so all we've done, or all you've done, Evan, is you've just cut out triangular pieces from our XPS foam, or
yes,
XPS insulation board. And then we're just using the glue just to stick everything together. It's as simple as that. And it looks, if you know, it looks nothing like a rock face at all at the minute, does it? But that's soon going to change.
I think it looks great. No.
Yeah, not like Woodhead at the minute, but it's getting there.
But so the reason why I'm doing this now is just to show you can also use little leftovers and pieces.
Yes, yeah.
So we just cut some basic, triangles.
Yeah.
We're gonna make basic rock face. I know what you want to achieve on your layout, so we're gonna make a little sample.
Yeah.
And then also, we prepared it earlier this morning.
We did.
We're gonna make a little quarry.
Yeah.
So,
this is just, I'm just going to cut in that photo, by the way, the quarry that I showed you guys last week. So that, what Evan has just shown us, is going to be the base of what we're going to do a bit later. Right, so rock face, back to the rock face. We're just gluing these bits together.
So we're just gonna make a basic form, and then we let it set with the glue, and then next steps they will be very clear, and then you will see everything will appear. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, super duper. So there we go. We've just finished, or Evan's just finished the vertical pieces. Glued them all together with the foam glue, or the glue that we just showed you. So let's move on to the next stage.
This is a light module now, so we can do it. But on your layout, it's solid enough so you can cut this way. So we take that Fatmax knife again.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna
just gonna move this camera a little bit. It's all right.
We're gonna just take these contours. And you see, and we break this off.
Yeah.
It's just now a little piece of what you're gonna have. But so now we have the scenery, and you will see the rock face.
Yeah.
So, and all these little bits we just
chuck. We don't need those.
Recycle them. And also you see there are some edges, but actually it's not. It doesn't matter. But we can cut those edges away. You see, we can cut those edges away.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just
to make it a little bit more flatter, I suppose.
Yes. But what we want to do is, because you have your rock faces, you know, the top, and certainly from the team you want to do, it's not rocky. So the landscape is going to come down a bit, and then you have your rock face. So we're going to replicate that also.
Yeah, because I think at Woodhead it's all heather and that really sparse kind of undergrowth, and then that drops away, as you say, and then you've got sheer rock.
Yes, exactly. So
60 or 70 feet.
Because many people tend to make the rocks all the way towards the top, and then they have their rock face. But the thing is, you need to come down a bit with your landscape. We're going to use the product also to create a little overhang.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And then the rock face, because when I saw the footage of your previous video, you can really see that the rock is really cut out by humans.
Yeah.
So it was not there before the rocks.
Do you know what? I didn't realise. I never even thought of that. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, that sheer rock face, it was machined by humans back in 1850 or whatever. Yeah.
So there you go. But the most important thing of building your scenery on a layout is just document yourself before you start.
Right, we're back. Evan, so talk to me about what we've got here to create the next stage of our rock face to look like Woodhead. So we've got some of this.
Yeah, it's a plaster bandage. It's an industrial one, so it's quite wide.
And this is your product?
Yeah, well, yes.
Because we didn't explain to people watching that Scape Supplies is actually your...
Yes, so I have a business partner in the Netherlands also. We work together. And so all the products I use in my workshop, they're also under the name Scape Supplies.
Got you. Okay.
And so after those more than 10 years of experience, I know these are really well products to offer to the people. So, but we have a broken leg here. Okay. The bandage. And so, you know, it comes in 2 rolls in a package. And so it's 6 meters in total. But, you know, we're not going to use the whole length.
Not for this.
So what I'm going to do is just cut some small sheets. And it's more handy to manipulate. Yeah. 4 sheets is more than enough for this one. Okay. Keep this one dry. You can put it back in the package if you keep it dry. It has a shelf life for another few months after opening. Just keep it dry. Then we use Belgian tap water.
So we've got to have Belgian. It's not English.
It will work just fine. So, and now it's quite easy because you just take one of those, the sheets that you cut. Yeah. You soak it. Yeah. And you let it drip for a few seconds until it stops dripping. Yeah. And then you drape it on top of it. Yeah. You even can, you know, bend or, you know.
Just over the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's solid. Like this. Yeah. You take the second one. And then just take care that you have an overlap.
Yeah.
This is also quite a large overlap already, but it's just a small piece of diorama now.
So no matter how big your rock face, you've got to cover the whole rock face in this plaster bandage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's just easier to put the next step on it, and even it gives instantly a finished look.
Yeah.
Because now you can see also there are all little packages of plaster on top of it, and so we're gonna spread them out now with our hands, or you can also use a brush.
And it clings to the surface.
Yes, it sticks very well. And even you remember these were just leftovers, and you have some voids.
Yes, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
It will stick very well. So once it's dry, it's very solid.
Yeah.
The thing is, it will set after 10 minutes already.
Yeah.
But it will dry after half a day because it's water.
Right.
But after the setting time, after 10 minutes, we can continue with the next step.
Okay, so notice you're not pressing it right in, you're just draping it over.
But we can do it.
Right,
but I remember your rock faces on the pictures you sent me, and I saw your video.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Okay. Right.
So, but for your quarry, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So you remember?
Just clarify that again. So we're not going to press the plaster bandage into the rock face for this particular rock face.
So it's just now to show you can use the leftovers, and so because your rock face is quite flat. Because
just to remind viewers, that rock face at Woodhead, as you said earlier, has actually been constructed by humans and machines, hasn't it? Back in the day.
But with the next step with the product, we're gonna add all the detail in it. So we don't need, this is just the basic shape.
Yeah.
This is our canvas.
Yeah.
And with the product, the MIFO shape, we're gonna make all the details in it.
Right. Okay.
But with your quarry,
we're going to come to, just for people watching, we're going to come to this quarry later, but this is one we did earlier, as they used to say in Blue Peter. Yeah.
And so this is your landscape really, and this we did do already a cutout with a knife, or with the Fat Mac Stanley knife.
Yeah.
And so there we're gonna push the plaster bandage into all the cracks and everything, because we need those shapes already.
Right. Okay. So that's the quarry. So back to the rock face, and we're just putting another onto the bottom.
It's just that we have a nice
just going to move
base.
This camera a little bit.
And you see,
it's funny how it doesn't look anything like a rock face at the minute, but I guess this is going to change very soon.
Yes, definitely. And it's not messy, that work.
No.
Here, so I use gloves. It's not toxic, but it's not fun to have dry hands afterwards. Like that. So you see, now we have a really nice base.
Yeah.
But you remember all the leftover pieces? They looked a bit like rubbish together, but now we have a really great.
And we'll leave this to dry now.
Yeah, well, dry, gonna continue, but we'll let it set for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's hard, and then we will work on
move on to the next stage. Right, we're back on the third stage, Evan? I can't remember. But anyway, we're back on the next stage, aren't we? And the fact is, we've got this, it's all dry. So now we're going to introduce some more products to make our rock face like Woodhead. So we've got MIFO shape, which is basically a sculpting powder. Just tell me about that, because you were saying earlier you'd manufactured this and it was like sculptor mode. Similar?
Yes, it's basically the same idea as a sculptor mold, but all the disadvantages of sculpting mold, we took it out.
Yeah.
And we improved it in MIFO shape.
Okay.
So, and shape, yeah, it's an English word.
Yeah.
You can shape whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
And MIFO stands for minima forma.
Ah, okay. Right, okay. I've learned something new every day. Fine.
And so this is the basic rock phase again, and you see there are still
we're all dry since we
well, it's not completely dry, but it's set, and you see there are some stains, a bit darker.
Yeah.
That's just the humidity that's still in it,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter.
Right.
We can work instantly on it.
Cool.
So, and this is this is the compound, how it comes straight out of the bag.
Okay.
And it's a fluffy powder.
Yeah.
You see, it's very airy.
So this hasn't got any water in it.
No, not at all. It's just the powder, you see, and it's quite thick.
It's thick and it's airy, as you say.
Yes,
yeah.
and so it's very lightweight.
Yeah.
The advantage is we're gonna mix it with water.
Yeah.
We do our business here.
Yeah.
Once it's dry, it has the same volume and weight again.
Right. Okay.
So the only thing during the preparation is the water that has all the weight. But once the water has evaporated, it's light again and it's very strong. You remember you were hitting on my Canadian module?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, that rock face that I'm going to be building that's going to look like wooded is 2 meters by 1 meter. So that's a good point about the weight, because it needs to be still light enough to be carried by at least 2 people.
Yeah, and not too fragile either.
No, exactly.
And so now I added a bit of water, and the thing is, there is no fixed ratio.
Okay.
Because if the more the water you apply, the thinner it gets.
Yeah.
So you can then
so you can vary the consistency.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so now I start mixing it.
Yeah. A bit like porridge, isn't it?
Well, yes. But if you eat it like porridge, you will get constipated.
Okay.
So I add a little extra water.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see how this is going to, how the end consistency is going to be. Because you don't want it too runny, but you don't want it too... It's a bit like a cookery program, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
You see, and now it's very thin.
Yeah.
You can make it thicker also, but I'm still mixing. And what I'm doing now, it's not mandatory, but I have a little bit of PVA glue.
Okay.
And it's just to make it a bit more, I don't know the English word, but more...
Flexible.
Yes, exactly. You see?
Got you.
And if you think it's too runny, you add a little bit of powder extra. So it's not like with genuine, with normal plaster, you know, it's quite... It has a lot of tolerance.
Yeah.
So only a little bit.
Got you.
And there you go.
Yeah. And that is about right then, you think?
Yep. Well, it can be even a little bit thicker.
Got you. Okay.
There you go.
Right.
We'll mix it through. And then we start applying it. It looks like a blob like this. A blob like that.
Let me just move the camera 1 sec.
But you know, then it becomes more smooth. But although it's not necessary.
So just putting blocks on.
Yeah. So Simon, there are your rocks.
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
Joking. So the thing is, I want to apply the complete mixture that I prepared. So, because otherwise you will be focused on your piece of work and you will forget there is still some consistent, some there.
So you've got to get it all out first.
Yes, exactly. But from now on, I have half an hour of time to work with it. With Sculpting mold, it would have been too late already.
Really?
Yes. With the new mixture of Sculpting mold, yes.
Yeah.
And you see how it sticks?
Yeah. But it still takes some time to dry.
Yes. So now we're going to work out first.
Look at that.
We can add details later, but now I just want to
so you're just flattening the top, where this is where the landscape is going to drop down onto the top of the rock face.
You get it completely. Even we're going to leave it like that, and we're going to make a second batch.
Okay, second batch coming up. Right, so we just made a second batch, or you have, Evan.
Yes, here we are. The second batch, and hopla, we're gonna blob again. But you see how it sticks?
Yeah.
And that's not due to the glue, it's just, whoa.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. So,
and what you
little advice if you have some tracks running here.
Yeah.
Cover them with a paper towel.
Yeah. Or masking tape or something.
So what were you
I was
gonna
just
ask?
going to say, what you're using the tool, what is it again? It's just a
This
spatula.
is, yeah, it's a painter spatula. So
okay.
It's an art painter. They use it quite a lot for oil paints and everything. But in every decent craft store, you can buy this. But for example, you all will also, you just can use this one if you want.
Okay, so that's available anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's just one of those really satisfying things, isn't it? Already, it's interesting and it's enjoyable, isn't it?
So I'm first gonna continue cover up everything, so I know that my work area is there.
God, I can see already how that's going to develop. Could you actually work off a picture? You know?
Well, but that was my next step. But first, I want to, prepare my workspace. Look how it works.
That is amazing.
Look, and now we're gonna smoothen everything out.
Yeah.
Just that we have a nice base to work, but we have the thickness now. So it's, I think it's about an inch thick now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't. It's not falling down. It's not.
No.
Which plaster would, wouldn't it? Oh God, look at that.
So, and now the weight it has now is just the water.
Yeah.
So I remember your last movie. So you remember your last video or your before last video. This was a snapshot.
Yeah.
And you see all those blocks.
Yeah. Got it.
So
let me just zoom up on yours. Got you. So that's a reminder of how
it has to look like.
How it needs to.
Do you see those square lines?
Yeah.
So we're gonna take another spatula and then just
right.
And you had those blocks that were a bit like that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Look at that.
And we're just now doing the rough parts. We're gonna detail it later. So
have a feeling that when this goes out, Evan, there's going to be a lot of people in the UK wanting to put rocks on their layouts and cliff faces, and I hope they do, because it just said the other week, it's just one of those things that you don't see enough of on UK layouts.
Well, but you don't need to. It's not mandatory to make rocks. You can also just make, slopes and little culverts and
exactly.
details.
Yeah.
Or, for example, you have a field and there is a road a little bit lower, but then you have, how do you call it, a cutout with sand.
Yeah.
Easily you can do that.
Yeah.
Well, we can show that later also.
Yeah, you only need a little bit of rock face just to produce a really good effect, don't you? And to draw people's attention. It's
wherever you go in England, there is always a bit of rock. And I was impressed last year. I went to Cheddar, and you have Cheddar Gorge.
Yeah.
If you want to see rocks, wow.
Of course. Yeah.
See, this is that crust of earth.
Of earth. And I've noticed at Woodhead, you've got all these clumps of heather and everything all on the tops of the... That's right. I also noticed, just on the pictures of Woodhead again, just how yellow parts of the rock is, which you see...
Yeah, the thing is, people tend to think, rocks, so we need gray,
black, exactly,
and white.
Yeah,
but you can use yellow ochre, burnt umber, raw umber.
Yeah,
we all gonna use that on the next steps.
Yeah,
but there's so much variety you can add, and then
because you can even buy. I mean, there's several manufacturers actually do rock coloured paint, and invariably it's always grey or black. You never see those colours you've just mentioned.
Best example is Mother Nature, and just learn to look at it.
And look at the real thing, yeah. I mean, that's incredible. How long has it taken us to achieve this? I mean, from start to finish, I reckon we're probably in about 7 or 8 minutes to get to this stage.
Yeah. And even we can leave it like this now, just let it dry, and then at the end, chuck off some pieces. But now it starts to set. But this is what you wanted to have, Simon.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and just if you're doubting, just take a look back. And
the real thing again.
Look at this one, for example. I said it has quite a triangle.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
And then above there is that earth again. So you make that crust.
It really is artistry, isn't it? It really is.
And then you see this overhanging piece. So just push this one in. Make that overhanging piece, and it is a bit triangular also, that overhanging piece. And there you go.
It's just astonishing. Look at that. And it's not even the right colour, and it still looks brilliant.
And you see also you have those diagonal lines in it. So you think, you just, for the fun, you pull a line.
Yeah. Oh, and
then you say, I'm going to follow this line.
I don't know, words just fail me, they really do. I just think it's incredible.
You might see we have some small brims here and there. Don't mind about that. Once they're dry, with a brush or a bristle, we're gonna remove them.
Okay.
But look at that.
It's just art, isn't it? It really is absolute art. Absolutely incredible.
There you go.
I'm just going to change this camera around, and we're going to have a look at it from this one.
I see over here. Can maybe zoom in.
Yeah.
So you see it's still.
Yeah.
That's not beautiful. You see it, and also it's flexible. You see. So what we're gonna do. Hopla. And imagine there should be a little crack.
Yeah. I'm not often lost for words, but that really is absolutely incredible.
Because remember the picture, we had some really sharp edges.
The picture of Woodhead.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then again, we brush all those loose pieces off.
Yeah.
And look at that.
Oh yeah. This is really turning out to be spectacular. And this is where I guess if you're modelling a specific rock face, you could actually you could almost take this model in front of the real thing and just make it even more prototypical.
That would be nice for your next video, one of your models and then on site.
Yeah, the only thing is it's 2 meters by 1 meter, so I'd have to, I'd need a bit of help to take it down to Woodhead. But anyway, yeah, this is looking great. That makes such a difference. Because I guess your chisel's mimicking the excavators that would have done the same thing years ago when they were building the tunnels.
Exactly. But you need the basic shape. And actually the shape we had already was just great, but we're going to the next step stage. Actually to make it even a little bit more convincing.
Because as you said, tomorrow, when this has been dry for 2 days, it's going to be difficult to do what you're doing now.
Yes, exactly. I think I like it so far.
I like it.
You know, this gives you also a little bit more extra confidence to work on your work. And so if you're not satisfied with your work from the first day, you still can correct some pieces.
And I'm just going to remind people that are watching that, you know, even this cliff face here, which is really small, it would just work in any gauge, wouldn't it? N gauge, HO gauge, double O gauge, O gauge.
It's just the proportions that may alter a bit, but...
Yeah, because in N gauge, it would be a sheer cliff face. In O gauge, it's just going to be a fairly small rocky outcrop, isn't it? But it's still going to lend so much to the atmosphere of a small layout.
Yes, definitely. I remember that when I was 2 years ago hiking with my wife in the Black Forest, the Schwarzwald in Germany, and we were at the top of one of the local mountains, and there was just an outcropping just near a picnic bench, and I took a picture, a close-up of that picture. I will share it with you.
Yeah, do that.
And it was just half a square foot.
Really?
I took the picture, and it looks like on the picture like a massive rock outcropping.
Does it? Yeah.
So it's all about perception, and it all depends of the size of the vegetation you will put.
That's true, because the vegetation, as you say, is gonna frame.
Yeah.
It's gonna make it. See what you mean.
So I think we're gonna leave it like that.
Okay.
So we're gonna recover all those fine debris, so we can reuse that, and let's start coloring then.
Okay. So we're back. We're gonna now try some painting, and before we do, I just wanted to talk about the different acrylics, and it's acrylics, not enamels, that we actually need to do this. So Evan, what are we actually using in terms of acrylics? What colours?
Well, let's start now for the basics with gray.
Yeah.
It's just normal artist acrylics.
Yeah.
So now this is a Dutch brand.
Yeah, this is a Dutch brand, obviously, but you can get this as a De La Rowney brand or Rowney brand in Hobbycraft. So it's just a basic standard grey.
Yeah, it's just a basic standard grey. So actually what they say, how it's called, let's go. It's a neutral grey.
Neutral grey, okay. So we need a neutral grey.
Then typical artistic color, burnt umber.
Burnt umber, that's a really common colour for artists.
Raw umber.
Raw umber.
And guess what? Black.
Black, okay. So those are the ingredients that we need.
Yes, and even if you want, we can use a little bit of gray, beige, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So this is beige.
Yeah.
And there are some detailed paints we can use afterwards, but let's start with the basics.
Yeah. Right, Evan. So we're going to start painting. We've just put together a bit of water. All those. How much of each paint have we put in here?
A knife tip. Just it's So you remember the spatula that we used yesterday? I'm gonna show it again.
Yeah.
So I take with this one a little bit of paint, but just
that much.
That much. And so I started with gray.
Yeah.
A little bit of burnt umber, raw umber, and I made it a bit darker with black.
Yeah.
And so we just get this, grayish wash, and it's just water. And
so, how much water did we add? It wasn't much.
It's 1 part of paint against 10 parts of water.
Okay,
easily.
Right.
Because every acrylic, the real acrylic paints, not from the dollar store, but the real acrylic paints, they have a dollar store. Hear me, a pound store. Do we have that?
Yeah, pound stores in England. Yeah.
But so this has a lot of pigments in it.
Okay.
So you don't have to use that much of paint.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're looking at 1 part of paint, 10 parts of water. So this is basically a wash.
Yes.
And which we're going to use.
My advice also is, if you made your rock face on your layout, you always have a little leftover of the MIFO shape.
Yeah.
Do it on a little panel.
Yeah.
And then
to test it first.
Yes, exactly.
Right, okay.
So then at least you have this. This is now your test case for the layout.
Yeah. So I'm just going to zoom in on this because I know this is going to be such a game changer. Sorry about the camera moving up and down just for a second. Oh, sorry guys. Right, okay, let's...
you ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
So we have to be careful that we fill all the cracks.
We need to cover all the white bits. And this is just the base colours, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the first wash. The base colours.
So we can dab it, we can smear it. Don't put that much pressure on it because you don't want to, round those edges again.
Yeah.
So.
Right, so what we've done here as well, to everybody watching, is apart from using the paintbrush, we're going to use a spray bottle. So we put some of that wash into a spray bottle, haven't we, Evan? And we're going to use that because what I've got to do is recreate a rock face, which is huge, 1 or 2 meters. So instead, I'm just going to try this method, aren't we, of using a spray bottle. We'll just show it in front of the camera. We're just using an old spray bottle with that wash that we've just used, and we've just stuck it in. It's
just an empty bottle of window cleaner. I always keep them, and then you have this spray bottle.
Yeah.
The wash is in it. You can see it. Now.
Right, okay. Well, given that the amount that I've got to do, that's probably a much better bet for me, isn't it? But we've still got to cover all the white bits, all the nooks and crannies inside.
Well, again, you take the whole layout, Simon.
Yeah.
But look, actually, everything is done.
Yeah.
So we let it dry. Now, so with the paintbrush, it was more an opaque layer we put on. Now it's less filled.
Yeah.
That's no problem. We let it set and dry for a minute, and then we can do a second layer.
Fantastic.
But look at that.
Look at that. I mean, to most people, that would be, well, that'd still create that wow factor, but we've still a bit of way to go yet, haven't we?
But there you go. But that's already a nice effect at first sight.
Incredible. I just can't believe it. Just transformed. Right, okay. So we're going to let this dry, aren't we now?
Yes.
Okay. Right, Evan. So we're back with the cliff face, which is now just about dried, hasn't it?
Well, it's not really dry. You can feel it's still damp, but that's no problem.
Yeah.
Also, most of the water is away. You remember also we did some parts with the paintbrush.
Yes.
And then we did some parts with
the
spray.
And the paint has obviously left a thicker.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem, is it?
You know, again, we're speaking of Bob Ross. You remember the painter with the afro head?
Yeah, we were talking about him yesterday.
This is a happy little accident.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to your picture again, you see you have really dark spots and lighter spots.
Yeah.
So this is just great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put multiple layers on top of it. But this is gonna work out very well.
Good.
And so what we did now is we made another wash.
Yeah.
But just now brown.
Okay.
And burnt umber.
Brown and burnt umber. Okay.
A little bit. And also I added a little bit of window cleaner in it.
That's interesting.
Yes.
And that's because it just makes everything flow a bit quick. A bit freer.
The wash, the previous wash has a certain surface tension.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter for a general painting. But now we want that the lighter brown goes everywhere.
Okay.
And so by adding a little bit of the window cleaner, we break that surface tension.
So it's very similar to when you're ballasting track, isn't it? And you add a bit of to the PVA glue, whatever glue you're using for ballast, you add what we call in England fairy liquid to a detergent to make it flow better. It's the same principle.
So if I can give you an advice for ballasting, forget the water. Just take your PVA glue, and I even recommend using a white flexible PVA glue. Okay. But then you make your mixture with this instead of water. You apply your ballast dry and with your bristle and everything, you shape it. Then you take the window cleaner and you spray a mist of the window cleaner over your ballast, so it gets soaked with the window cleaner. Then you take your mix with the white glue, 1 part of white glue, 2 parts of the window cleaner, and just drizzle, and you will see it flows. And guess what? After 2 hours, your ballast is dry.
Oh no! So you've told me that after I've ballasted probably 55 meters of track. But never mind.
You still have a lot to do.
Yeah, I've still got a lot to do because I've still got the HS3, the high level line, to ballast yet. So anyway, let's go back to the cliff face. So
now you see how it runs. And it goes everywhere. And it doesn't have to be covered completely.
Right.
Just let it flow.
Let it flow.
Again, you can use the spray can again, or the spray bottle again if you want, but I would just do this.
Yeah, we'll do this for the camera. Because most people are going to be doing a cliff face kind of this size, maybe double the size, or even a rocky outcrop, and they're going to just use a paintbrush, so it's fine.
And if you think it's too much, just spray a little coat of the window cleaner over it.
Okay.
And it just will go everywhere.
Yeah.
The terrain at the bottom is going to be brownish.
I already think that would be good enough. The majority of people are going to look at that, me included, and just think, fantastic. But there's still a bit to go yet, isn't there?
Definitely.
It's how far you want to go, I guess. But if you want, a look like the one that's popping up on your screen now, then we're not finished yet. Okay, we're back again with the cliff face. We've added the second wash, and now we're going to try some stippling, Evan?
Yes, well, the technique dry brushing. We're not going to do exactly dry brushing, but it's the same approach.
Yeah.
But we just take some raw paint.
Yeah, that's grey.
Yes, this is the grey again, because I was looking on their picture.
We're just using this as a bit of
it's just a leftover piece of wood.
Plywood, yeah.
And so I take a little bit, but not too much, and then I stipple on some surfaces.
Okay, I'm just going to zoom in on this.
Very gentle.
Yeah.
Not too much paint. See a stipple, and then we're gonna, you know, do some streaking. Also over those darker spots. And then we have exactly the depth we need.
And this is just grey, nothing else, isn't it? Just
yes, but then
neat.
we take some raw umber.
Raw umber, yeah.
And do the same thing, and most of at the top.
So raw umber is at the top of the overhangs.
Because here is all your vegetation.
Yeah.
And so we do the raw umber at the top now, a little bit more, because all the dirt and the sediments from the vegetation are coming down.
Got you.
But you hardly can do anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
And take a little bit of brown, but because I saw also there were some brown spots in.
There were in
and
the
now
original
we're gonna
photo.
focus this more on certain areas. Just gentle, not that much.
Yeah. It's true that, I mean, we've got shadows already, haven't we?
And you remember on the picture you saw also a lot of yellow and light green from moss, and that's for later phases. But
okay,
just taking that, you know, it's not just gray. Those shades, they're really important, and if it's a bit too much, just blend it out. And look at that.
Absolutely stunning. Just go down a bit, that's it. Oh yeah, look at that. Incredible. Just amazing. So that's the end of that stage.
Yes, again, it's not difficult.
No, we just looked at, just to recap, we've just done grey and we've done umber. Is it raw umber or burnt umber?
But this is, yeah, these are both.
Yeah.
Raw, so burnt umber is really brown.
Oh yeah,
raw
we did grey.
Has the
we
natural mossy look.
Yeah, we did 3 colours, grey and the 2
and even
umbers.
some grey again. You see, it's just have fun with it.
And that's what it's all about, having a bit of fun.
Do you see yourself already busy on your...
I can see myself very busy. As I was saying the other day, I can see that all the things that I had lined up to do, I'm going to now be doing rock faces. Okay, Evan, so we're back. We've let the cliff face dry a little bit, and we're just going to use a bit of beige, I believe.
Yes, just a little bit. You can use off-white also, but beige is less, well.
Yeah.
So we're going to use beige, and so now we're going to really dry brush. This is dry, but not too much, because people tend to overreact with dry brushing. So I'm just using the base here.
So just to recap, we've just taken some paint from the jar, we've just put it on the base, and we're just going to use this dry.
Right, it's not necessary to put it on the base, but I use it as a... And then gentle, but really gentle.
I'm just going to zoom in on this because it's really interesting. So it's just like light coming off the edges, isn't it?
But really gentle. We're highlighting all the sharp edges. Because, like I said, some people tend to overdo it.
And it's so difficult to... That's one of my weaknesses, overdoing things. And sometimes you just don't know when to stop. I mean, that's transformed it.
There you go.
Goodness me. Astonishing.
And also, if I look to your pictures, again,
we'll pop it up on the screen now.
You should use a smaller pencil, and I'll take the off-white. This is being bald now. We take a smaller pencil.
Yeah.
Those are really also dollar store pencils.
Yeah.
Very cheap. We take a little bit, not too much. We'll make those little, you know, on the pictures you see you have some streaks.
Got you.
So, but they are vertically down.
Could be salt or chalk or something, couldn't it? I don't know what it is. What do you think?
Well, it's saltpeter. It can be anything. It can be bird droppings.
Oh yeah, well, it probably could.
No, but it's most of the time just, you know, saltpeter and acid that's inside of the rocks that oozes out with rain and everything. But there you go. It comes to life now.
Amazing. Look at that. It really does. That's a good expression. Comes to life. It really does. These last two stages that we've done have really transformed it again. You think at every stage it's superb, and then you do another stage and it just improves.
And you remember there was also a little bit of yellow in it?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is.
You can take a little yellow ochre. Just have fun with it.
Mm.
You know, that mossy yellow, how do you, crust moss, or how do you call it?
Yeah.
It's always where the things are.
Heather. Is it heather? Or it might just be moss.
So this is a bit too much on that spot, but that's not bad. Because we can also just so we have a bit too much here, but we can take it away.
Yeah. It's incredible. Absolutely amazing.
And a little bit of that raw umber again at the edges. And you know what? The sun is shining outside. Let's take this outdoors.
Let's take it outside and just have a look. Great stuff. Right, Evan, we're now in from the outside again with the cliff face. So what we're doing now, we're just adding a bit of vegetation, aren't we, just to finish everything off?
Just a little bit of moss, the last steps, just to add that extra level of detail.
Sure.
And so I have here the white glue.
Yeah, that's diluted.
Guess what? With what?
Window cleaner.
Window cleaner. So this is 2 to 3 parts window cleaner.
Okay.
With 1 part of white glue.
Yeah.
And just that we have a nice mixture. We have some fine turf, green blend, for example, Woodland Scenics or probably other brands, Lars op het Hof, so much more. And also sifted dirt, just gray.
Gray sifted dirt.
Gray sifted dirt and, you know.
A pipette.
A pipette, exactly. Yeah. So we just stipple a bit on the horizontal surfaces.
Yeah, I'm just going to zoom in on this so we can see.
We just sprinkle a bit of that dirt in it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, on all those horizontal surfaces, you have a lot of debris that rests on it.
Yeah.
And that debris forms a great source for vegetation. And it just gives you that extra texture. See, just go gentle on the horizontal surfaces. You will see that the glue runs off.
Yeah.
No problem. That's the natural way of flowing. Don't do too much.
Mm.
I'm just gonna sprinkle it on the horizontal surfaces.
Got you.
There you go. And then we take that pipette.
Yeah.
And we just let it flow in those cracks we have.
Okay. And this is our diluted PVA or
Exactly.
diluted glue, yeah.
You see how it runs?
It runs really, really well, doesn't it? And that's because you've added the window cleaner.
Yes. And so now, just sprinkle gentle the fine turf on it.
Oh, crikey, look at that.
You can also just take a little piece of paper or your hand, put it on your hand and blow gentle.
Mm.
So what we're gonna do is take a piece of paper, add some extra glue in the cracks.
Yeah. And you're just blowing some of that onto it.
Some extra on the edges, at the bottom. Imagine where no sunlight comes and all the water stays still. Just add some extra green.
Yeah.
This is gonna look awesome on your layout. Actually, I'm looking forward to see that on your layout.
Yeah, this will be incredible.
A little bit extra here at the top. Once everything is dry, you take a bristle again or a brush and just brush away the excess.
Yeah, yeah.
And imagine having your tunnel entrance here.
Exactly, yeah. That's just incredible.
Simon, this is it.
And there we go. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Evan. Okay, folks, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a long one, well over an hour, but I just thought it was important to keep it together as much as possible. So if you wanted to create a rock face like the one Evan did for us, then, you know, you could follow it quite easily. And I should say as well that all the products available, all the products used are available from scapesupplies.com. So you can buy them direct from there. I should say as well that Evan is going to send me a bulk order of all those products in the next few weeks. So when they land, you'll be able to buy them direct from me in the future. I just really like his stuff. So I'm going to buy a load of his products and retail them from here in the future when the new website, which I'm going to tell you about next week, comes live. Of course, Sunday is part 2. That is about the quarry and how to construct the quarry. So we're going to cover that then. So if you want to hang on till Sunday for part 2, you can do. In the meantime as well, of course, who won the class 56 in the competition I did and the 2 questions about the film Where Eagles Dare? Well, it was Craig Wheeler who answered both questions within about 3 minutes, I think, of the video going live. Or at least finishing going live on last Friday. And of course, the answers were Clint Eastwood, who plays Maurice Schaefer or Lieutenant Schaefer, and Darren Nesbitt, who's also still alive, and he played Major Von Happen. In fact, the pilot as well, Vincent Ball of the Ju-52, is still alive too, but it was the first 2 that I was after. So Craig Wheeler gets the Class 56, and that will be going off today as soon as I've finished editing this video. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you Sunday with part 2, and I'll bring you up to date with progress on here next week.